What's up, it's Keane Bain. I want to say that I have a lot of childhood fears, and I fucking hated childhood fears. That's freaking me out. Anyway, yeah. What I hated really as a kid was any time that TV was on, okay? When it was on in the background. There'd always be this really weird, scary advertisements, which were basically PSAs, you know. One was a car accident one, which was freaky as fuck. A boy and a girl are sitting on the wall, and you just hear this really fucking romantic, I guess, music or some bullshit. I don't fucking know what it was. And then fucking get fucking killed, and it shows a dog getting run over. Then a Northern Ireland advert about, this was only made 2 years ago actually, this one, so about this basically classroom of kids. And what they did in it was, they're going out to play with their teacher or whatever, and a car comes and crushes them. And then there's another one with a kid in the back garden, in a house, like, I think this one was made in the 2000s. The car comes and crushes the little fuckers, which is sad as fuck. It's sad. It's really sad. It's really emotional, but they're little fuckers anyway. Don't type it in. They also play the Sweet Child of Mine song in it, except the difference is that it's a sadder version of it. And that was a good song, you know. You know, the Guns N' Roses did a great job at that song, and then they fucking had that fucking have a sadder version of it. And then they had another one that had the song "Can I Tell You About My Life" or some bullshit. Anyway, another thing that scared me was Chucky the Killer Doll. That little scared the shit out of me. So I saw this picture of Chucky cutting up a Jack in the Box, and it frightened me. I was terrified till I was about 11. And then I got over him. I thought he was a squeaky voice Chucky doll, but no. He's like Boston or something. No, not Boston. He's Jersey. Yeah. Things that are real that would scare me are ISIS terrorists, Donald Trump, his fucking hairpiece, people breaking into your house, SWAT teams.
Hey guys, my name is Mark from I own a channel Crazy Pizza Man 21, and these are some things that freak me out, or one thing that freaks me out. As a child, like some of the stuff like I saw as a kid was just like, whoa. And one of them was the movie Mirrors. Now, what the funny thing is, I didn't see Mirrors. Someone told me about Mirrors, and I was like 10, maybe less, and so the thing was like, so my friend is telling me, he's like, oh yeah, dude, have you ever seen the movie Mirrors? And I'm like, oh no, what's it about? He's like, well, it's this really crazy movie. And like, I forget how he explained it. The only part of the conversation I remember is when he described this one scene. The lady looks in the mirror, and then she moves away from it, and then her image is still, like, and then she gets back to it, and she's looking, and then like in the mirror, like, she starts tearing herself apart, and then in reality, she starts actually, like, getting her, like, face torn open and stuff. Which also reminds me of another scene from Poltergeist, which I actually did see, and that really fucked with my head as well. But I think one more thing I should probably mention is the very first Jurassic Park, one of my all-time favorite movies. Probably saw it a little too young, because the raptors in that movie, like, the raptors were fucking freaky, like, T-Rex, you know, I was like, cause I watched it even younger than 10, probably. I was really young when I saw that, so I was like, well, I mean, at least if a T-Rex comes, I just gotta sit still, like, with a fucking raptor, man, like, those things are fucking fast, they, like, you know, like, they're, like, terrifying. Raptors are fucking terrifying. And I remember, like, cause there's, like, a staircase in the house, and sometimes, like, if I forgot something downstairs, it'd be total darkness, and then, like, I'd walk downstairs, and I'd look around almost like, there's a raptor. It's like almost, I don't even know, it'd be really weird. I'm kind of going on now, but there's one more thing that really, really fucking freaked me out. As a kid, I had quite an imagination, to say the least, and I had a nightmare, a really, really fucked nightmare, where Santa Claus basically murdered Bob the Builder. Yeah, I had that even younger than Jurassic Park, and it was the freakiest fucking thing ever. Just watching, just what it was. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was just like freaky as hell. I was like, what the hell? Like his eyes were like glowing red. Wait a minute. No, no, no. It was the other way around. Bob the Builder killed Santa Claus. That's what it was. No, it was that. It was that. Bob the Builder killed Santa Claus, not Santa Claus killing Bob the... Yeah, Bob the Builder's eyes got really fucking red. Like, it was terrifying, to say the least. I didn't watch Bob the Builder after that anymore. I did not. So that's basically it. Thank you guys for having me on this collab. Yep.
One thing that creeped me out as a kid was Rourke Jr. off of Sin City. It wasn't the fact that his character was, well, a pedophile serial killer, because as a kid I just didn't understand the dialogue to movies like Sin City. However, the appearance alone of that yellow-skinned version of Rourke with his constant glare just... ugh. Nowadays, I know what that character is, and I guess I should be creeped out still, but I actually ended up liking the whole movie and how gritty it was. Especially with Rourke Jr.'s death scene, he really deserved what he got in that scene. That yellow bastard is an accurate nickname. He's a real creepy dude.
7.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Dakota here. Very excited to be a part of this collaborative video. So thank you guys for including me in this. So, childhood movies or video games that creep me out. I don't know, man. That's a really good question. I think some of the things that come to mind really, as far as with like video games go, actually nothing pretty much comes to mind. The video games I played as a kid were pretty much either sports or like Grand Theft Auto, and there wasn't really anything creepy in those at all, as you can imagine. However, I think the closest that comes to childhood would have to be my sophomore year of high school. My buddy had just bought, it was when the Xbox One, or the Xbox 360 was still somewhat relatively new. I don't think it had even been out a year yet, and he invited me over to play it, and then he got this new game that was called Left 4 Dead, which eventually became like a really popular title, and a series for the Xbox. And I didn't really play it that much, but I remember he put the game in, and he had this huge TV that was probably like 60 something inches, and I don't know why, but the watching the opening scenes and the intro and playing Left 4 Dead on a huge TV in a room where the lights were totally off really just creeped me out and made me feel as though like that kind of stuff was real, which is probably a huge compliment to the developers of that game to be able to like make me feel like zombies and these kinds of things exist, and to be creeped out by just a video game intro, and provide that kind of atmosphere is like really good on their part. But I think that was like the creepiest video game that I'd ever played. As far as movies goes, shoot, I don't know. As a kid, I remember I was like 7 years old, and there was this movie called Fear.com that came out around 2001. And the closing scene was always really creepy to me, and you know, looking back now, that movie is not nearly as scary as I thought it was. It's actually pretty kind of not corny, but just a little bit goofy and unexciting, and it's actually gotten like a lot of people like have just totally bashed it and talked about how much of a flop it was. But the closing scene and kind of the premise of it always really creeped me out, and I think it could have been a lot better movie, like if they had redone it today. And then Courage the Cowardly Dog, I guess, as a real little kid was kind of weird. More specifically, like the episode with the mummy was pretty creepy. Return the slab or be cursed. That kept me awake. But I think the most prominent thing that like sticks out as a kid, something that like scared me, would have probably been anything that was related to like the paranormal or like ghost hunting. You know, because I really didn't understand that stuff for the longest time. Well, I mean, I didn't want to get too into it. You know, I had an experience when I was a kid with the paranormal, and so I always knew it was real. And so anytime like ghost hunting or ghost shows like on the Travel Channel came on when I was a kid, they always kind of, you know, made me feel a bit frightened and a little bit uneasy. And I think the reason it felt that way was because it is something that was real. You know, it was a lot scarier back then. You know, now looking at it from a church standpoint and really knowing what a spirit is and what the spirit world is for, and really understanding that it's you know, you for the most part you let them do their thing, then they won't bother you. I mean, of course there are some, you know, there's some darkness on the other side too, but you know, as a kid you're not thinking about spirits, you're not thinking about people, you know, waiting to you know, be judged and hear the gospel. You're thinking like a ghost. Like, there are no spirits when you're a kid. Like, it's a ghost, and a ghost's sole objective is to just scare you and run you out of whatever house you're in. You know, that's kind of like the mentality you have about ghosts as a little kid. But yeah, so I would say for the longest time, anything like that would really creep me out, just because I knew it was so real and it was something that did exist. And you know, not only that is, you know, horror movies and slasher stuff, like, it's creepy at the time, and it's creepy when you're watching it, but then you kind of dismiss it after it's done. But you know, ghost stuff stays with you and will make you be afraid to go to sleep. It really will. And I don't know, I think that's it. I can't think of too much else really on that topic. That's kind of some of the stuff that creeped me out as a kid, as a child. I mean, yeah, not too much, man. Not a whole lot really scared me as a kid, and yeah.
6.
Hello there everyone, it is the Sony Fangirl 1 here, and I decided to join a few people in a collab, such as Kane and Lucifer Scarlet, and we will be talking about our childhood fears, or something that scared us as a kid. So, Lucifer Scarlet told me on Twitter that there were a few subjects that you can choose from, such as video games, movies, etc., and a few other things. So, yeah, I decided to go for the subject video games, because there was this one game that really scared me as a kid, and that game is none other than Crash Mind Over Mutant. Crash Mind Over Mutant is a Crash Bandicoot game, and quite frankly, it's not a very good Crash game. But I'm not here to talk about whether or not the game is good or not. But anyways, guys, so this game really scared me as a kid. So this is how it went. One day, me and my dad decided to go to the video game store, a local one. This was like when I was 7, 8, or 9 years old, not quite sure, but I was definitely still a kid back then. So we decided to go to the video game store and buy a new game for my Nintendo Wii U. No, I mean Nintendo Wii, excuse me. So, we went to the video game store and I was looking around for some Wii games, and then my dad said, "Hey Esther, check this out, this one looks pretty cool." So I looked at the cover, and there it was, Crash Mind Over Mutant. When I saw the cover, I was like, but that looks really, really scary. I'm not even kidding, that actually did freak me out. If you guys don't know what the cover looks like, here is a picture of one. This is the Wii cover of Crash Mind Over Mutant, and when I saw the cover of these like freaks right here, I was just like, that looks really, really, really scary. I didn't like it, it really freaked me out, and I believe here's the back cover of the Wii version. Yeah, right here. These mutants just really freaked me out when I saw it. So I told my dad, but that just looks scary, and he said, don't be silly, you should try it. So I was like, alright, I guess I'll give it a try. So I went back home, put the game in my Wii, and at first it was like, okay, it was kind of fun and stuff, nothing scary. until, yeah, when you get further into the game, you come across your first mutant, which I believe is called a Reticle. And that mutant, when I first saw that as a kid, I was like, okay, this just took a turn for the scary. But the Raticle is definitely not one of the scariest mutants in the game. I personally think it's the least scariest. And so I decided to move on and go further into the game. And I believe once you enter the Raticle Kingdom, I believe that's what one stage is called in particular, the Raticle Kingdom. You come across mutants that are called Magmadons, I believe, and that's just where the game got really, really, really scary for me. You could see their eyes glowing, the Magmadons' eyes glowing and stuff, and they were like all red and stuff. I believe they're like turtles, some sort of mutant turtles, and that's where I just got really, really scared. And my mom was like, she saw the Magmadons, and she was like, what kind of scary crap is that? So yeah, I was like, I don't know. So again, I decided to move on, go further into the game, and persevere, even though the game was getting pretty much scary for me. So I went on further into the game, which I believe the desert area, I'm not quite sure what that's called, but you come across these rhino rollers, I believe. Those looked kind of scary, but not as scary as the Magmadons in my opinion. And then eventually I came across these slimes, I believe that's what it's called. And that's just where the game got really scary as well. The slimes look pretty scary. They're mutant pigs, I believe, covered in slime and stuff. And yeah, I didn't like it. And eventually I just stopped playing and I threw the game away because it just got way too scary. So yes guys, that's what scared me as a kid. I decided to go for the subject video games because Crash Mind Over Mutant was a game that really scared me. So yes guys, thanks so much for watching, and yeah, that was my part. Hope you enjoyed it.
5.
What's good, people? It's your boy Young Droopy the Dime, man, and today I'm gonna be telling you what my biggest childhood fears was. I got my homeboy Mr. Pickles with me today. Shouts out Mr. Pickles, Season 2, Adult Swim. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. First, we're gonna start off with Blacula. Bro, I didn't like this motherfucker right here. This nigga, like, he would bring evil ass dreams to your neighborhood and your life, man. Like this dude right here. I'm gonna pull up some more pictures of him, man, because he just looks weird, bro. Now, if that dude rolled up on you, what you finna do? Dracula, the regular Dracula looked nicer than him. You know what I mean? So like, and then this what he looked like regular though. I'm gonna find a regular picture of the dude. Oh snap, he got an action figure. Bro got an action figure. He looked weird on that too though. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, that right there gave me extraordinary fear when I was a kid, man. Like, this dude, here go a regular picture of him. He still looked the same though. He still looked the same. But you know what I mean? That was like one of my biggest fears as a kid when I first seen that dude. Like, he just ruined it for me. He ruined it. But next though, I'm about to show y'all another character that freaked me out as a kid, man. Ask Mr. Pickles. You know what I mean? Ask Mr. Pickles. He's about to tell you, man. See this world. See this world, bro. She was creepy, man. She was creepy, bro. You know what I mean? They try to make her seem nice, but it was something about See This World that didn't make sense, man. It didn't make sense. Look Look at this. Now you tell me if you want your kids or any of your nieces, nephews, brother and sister watching this on TV. Cedar's World looks crazy. Let me find some more pictures, man. Like some close-up pictures. I can't find none, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. That's the only one I could find besides this one. She just look crazy, bro. She always look like it's something wrong, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but I could never watch that. That's something I could never watch, man. You know what I mean? Her and Blacula brought some type of weird animated fear, man, that I didn't want to watch that. You know what I'm saying? So that was like one of my, that's my childhood fear, man. You know what I'm saying? Blacula and Cedar's World, man. You know what I mean? Shouts out to the 90s, though. Shouts out to Cedar's World, but you know what? Fuck you too. You know what I mean? I had a lot of sleepless nights because of that shit. But you know what? It's cool, though. Because you know what? Me and Mr. Pickles, we chillin' today. We chillin' today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Blacula ain't nothing to fuck with. Shouts out to Lucifer Scarlet, man, for adding me into this too, man. I really appreciate that shit, man. Really appreciate that shit. Shouts out to Kane too, man. Shouts out to Kane, man, and everybody else who's included in this. Thank you. Peace.
Hello boys and girls, I'm Scarlet today. So this is my childhood fear. So if you guys know, I was a fucked up kid when I was a little kid, okay? And you people might say, what creeped you out, Scarlet? The Jewel's Mask? Oh yeah, that did. Some bits, I guess. Or what about Stephen King? Some movies, I guess, because I had an uncle who was a Stephen King fan. And what else creeped me out as a kid? Fucking The Mist. I don't know why that did, be honest. Anyway, that's not my childhood fear of all time for this video. So what is your childhood fear then, Lucifer? Easy. A movie called Faladay. So you people might ask me, what is Faladay? What is it about? Well, it's a cartoon film of a cat, and murders happen, and he has to try and solve the murder. And anyway, you people might say, what's creepy about it, Lucifer? I don't know. What about the scene where what about when a cat's head gets clawed off? Nah, that's too nice. What about the other scene where a cat is dead? Nah, that's too nice, I guess. I know. What about the nightmare scene? You people might ask me, what is the nightmare scene? Show it to us. I will, you gotta wait. Anyway, I'll tell you how I saw this movie. One time, my parents came home, they're like, hey kids, we got your new film, it's about cats. I was like, what? I love cats. So anyway, I put it in the VHS tape player at 9 o'clock at night. And, you know, during the first scene, I cried, because you see blood and shit. And that was kind of sad for me. But I continued watching it, and this scene, fuck, it scarred me for life. You know, I got scared, I cried, I ran into my bed. And let's just say, I had nightmares for that. Yes, I had nightmares. So, here's a clip. Enjoy.
My biggest childhood fear was probably, it's like probably 2 or 3 things. At the moment, I got this weird, irrational fear of wasps. Whenever I go near one, I have to, like, politely move out of its way so I can fly off somewhere. Same with bees. Don't know why, it's just maybe because I got stung by one, and the imprint of my memory kind of told me, hey, stay away from bees, they sting you, ow. Other fear is probably my stepdad, who, if you've actually seen a video that I put up on my channel, the first video I put up back in March, I just stated how horrible my stepfather was. It wasn't exactly scary unless he decided to yell for no apparent reason, either because he was drunk, or because he decided I did something wrong, or my sister did something wrong, or my mother did something wrong. I don't know what was wrong with him. Maybe bipolar, I don't know, because 1 second he would have been happy to happy as a person who is genuinely happy all the time, than someone who's just like a nuclear bomb blowing up all over the place, destroying all hope. He basically destroyed all the hopes I had in my childhood, because before I was 14, I was basically happy-go-lucky. I was always happy. I was always I tried to be happy all the time, but after I was 14, he just decided to go, hey, let's screw up your life, because I don't know why. I was scared sometimes to go near him. I was scared to be in the same room as him. When we went on trips, I was scared to actually go in a car with him. I just don't know. He was a scary fellow, I'm just saying that. But that's basically what I'm scared of, just like being left alone. Like, because I'm paranoid about everything. I'm absolutely a paranoid person. Like, I just when I see shadows sometimes and I feel like, hey, there's someone behind me. It just turns out it's a branch. How cliche is that? Anyway, now that my stepfather's gone and I haven't seen him since for like a year now, which is good, my anxiety has gone down a lot, as I mentioned in the video. I've developed higher anxiety and such after this year, after restarting my brain for trying to do all this. I'm trying to do all this stuff for school, like exams and such. My anxiety has gone down a lot. Stress still a bit rough a bit. I did hit a little bit of a depression a bit. Not major, but just like slight, like it was just horrible. Well, it lasted it lasted about half a year. Then I started back on my YouTube, got really nice comments, got really nice reviews on it. Started making me feel a bit more happy with myself. It's weird, because I'm a horror reading YouTuber, and you think, oh, you read horror, you must not be scared of anything you read. I'm not. I'm scared of almost... I'm scared of, like, shadows, for God's sake. I'm scared of, a lot of things, actually, but doing things to go through childhood fear, that'll be probably, just being watched. Feeling of being watched, paranoia. Feeling of being watched while I'm alone. That's basically my fear. I rambled a bit too much on this, sorry. I rarely get to do these kind of things, so thanks for listening to me doing all this stuff. Anyway, next person, I guess.
Yeah, JackalGoldKick here, and I'm going to tell you what my childhood fear was. So, my childhood fear was from a video game called Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2. This enemy from Resident Evil 4 that scared me and kind of stopped me from playing the game and actually killing the enemy myself was the Regenerators / Iron Maidens. Now, the reason I said Iron Maidens is because there's two types of Regenerators. There's the regular, and then there's the Iron Maiden. The regular has fucked up looking skin. It's hard to describe it. It's kind of like black, grayish. He's got spiky teeth and red eyes. You look him up on Google, you can see what he looks like. Then the Iron Maiden is pretty much the same, but it has spikes all over its body. And these two types of enemies, the only way you can kill them is if you shoot each of their parasites on their body. But you can only see them if you have a certain sniper rifle part that you get these enemies appear on the island of Resident Evil 4. I think somewhere around chapter 4/5 they appear on the island and in some kind of building. I don't remember them appearing anywhere outside. So they appear in some kind of building in an island. And there was a certain sniper rifle part you could get where you could see the parasites in their body. Or if you had the Tommy gun, you could just shoot the shit out of it until it dies, and you could hopefully hit the parasites. So I couldn't fight these things. They scared me when I first saw them. I mean, they're scary as hell. The way they look, what sound they make while they're walking, the fucked up breathing that they make, it's pretty fucked up. And then the music that plays while they're walking towards you, and when you know they're there, music plays, and it's creepy, man. I couldn't deal with it. I had to hand a controller to a family member or somebody I knew, and I was like, "Can you please get me past this part? I can't do this part." And I remember going through it multiple times, man. It was ridiculous though, because now that I look back, I think it was stupid to be scared at the Regenerators, because to be honest with you, the double chainsaws from the 4th Mercenaries map, the island map, in Resident Evil 4, I think they're way more scary and intense because they're big, they got double chainsaws on them, and they can only be injured or killed by getting shot in the head, and sometimes you miss their head, and if they're after you, it's scary, man. Those things are fucking tense. But like I said, this is about childhood fears, so that's what I was scared of when I was younger. Basically, it was, the Regenerators from Resident Evil 4. Like I said, their skin, the way they sounded while they walked, the music that played, just the overall theme of the Regenerators and Iron Maidens were fucking creepy, and I couldn't fight them. I had to get somebody I knew or a family member to get past the part for me, because these enemies were freaky, they looked scary, and when they got up to you, they bit you. Oh man, it was a mess. So my childhood fear was definitely the Regenerators from Resident Evil 4.
YouTube, it's your boy Cutting the King, and I just would like to say thanks for letting me be a part of the collab, man. This was about my scariest moment as a child. So I was just chilling, right? I'm by myself in the house because my mom was at work or whatever, and I'm hearing footsteps, but nobody is in a home. It's just me and just nobody else. And I'm hearing footsteps and I'm getting scared. I'm like 11 years old, man. I was crying, and the experience really kind of traumatized me from like 11 to like 13. But I'm alright now, man. And I just wanted to make this quick. I didn't want to take any shine from the other YouTubers. Yeah. I'm out here with the W. Peace.
Well,